Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. So happy to have you. This is going to be a really cool, pretty, just really simple set. Nice and clean, just one color, nothing crazy. This client came back in. Just wanted something really neutral before we go crazy for fall. So that's exactly what we got here for her. As usual, I started off like I normally do, spraying her down with some alcohol just to kind of moisten the skin and to help to clean, disinfect, etc. And I'm using my metal cuticle pusher to just push back that skin. You can see I'm not scraping. I'm literally just slowly pushing the skin back as best as possible. So not sure what happened to the footage. I was having such crazy camera issues that day. I actually had another client that came in before her and I recorded this really cool ombre matte flame set and the camera died. So it's a lot. Sorry that there's a lot missing from here, but if you watch my videos, you know what happened after that. I went in with my diamond skiver bit. I went in with my sanding band and removed a light layer of the nail, just kind of buffed it to get some texture on there, removed as much cuticle as possible from that nail plate, and now we're sizing up for tips. So I'm using these Coffin natural colored tips, nothing crazy. When I have clients that I know don't go particularly long, these are usually the types of tips that I'm going to use. It doesn't make sense to use my super long, super fancy or expensive tips if I know they're going to ask me to chop them all off. So just going in with these Coffin tips, we are going to end up with more of a tapered square shape, but because we're cutting it down so much, you're going to get that shape. But these are Coffin. If you're into that, definitely go for them. They're on Amazon. I will link them below. Just making sure that when applying these tips, I am sizing correctly. It's better to go larger than smaller. If you go smaller, the tip will not fully adhere or it will pinch. You'll get like air pockets on the side and it'll give you really bad lifting right away. If the tip is too large, product moisture will get up on the sides and you'll also have a surface breakdown. So if you happen to not be able to find a tip that fits perfectly to that nail bed, just make sure to go bigger. Use a clipper like I often do. I often have my straight edge clipper on hand when applying tips. Snip at the sides as necessary and then apply the tip, just making sure that it's straight. What I do to make sure that the tips go straight is I envision kind of like a skewer or like a stick down the finger, the whole finger instead of the fingertip. A lot of us have crooked fingers. I think it's totally normal since doing nails to see that everybody has at least 2 or 3 crooked fingers. Just make sure that the tips are going down the length of the finger, not the fingertip, and you should be fine. So now I'm going in with my favorite straight edge clipper. I love this clipper so much. I get it on Amazon and I'm just sizing her up. So I like to do the client's right hand first, have them kind of feel around if it feels good for them, and then use that hand to cuticle size up the left hand. So that's what you see me doing here, lining up her thumbs, clip, and then go from there. So I like to go in with the same sanding band and I am literally, as you can see, just blending the tip lightly. I also use this to kind of remove or dust up any of the glue that might have spilled out in the tip application. You don't really want to have glue on the nail. It kind of interferes with adhesion, so I try to just scuff that up while blending the tips as well. Again, camera issues, but I did go in with primer. It's not here, I don't know why, but we did go in with primer. I used my Mia Secret dehydrator, the primer, and then I went in with a coat of the Young Nails Protein Bond. I've been using that for a long time. It works for me. Sometimes I'll switch it up, but in this case, that's just what I have on hand, and I really like that system. It works for me. The color that the client actually chose was Bad and Bougie by Valentino, and yeah, just a solid color application. Nothing crazy. As you can see, we clipped the nails down to about a short to medium length. I call this a medium. To some folks, it's super long, but like to me, this is like, well, I'm complaining. Look at my nails. My nails look like trash, but these are like a medium length, and we are just doing a simple application of this acrylic. It's a really gorgeous acrylic. I'm using the Valentino monomer, and just doing this set, like afterwards, I had a good laugh with myself because I remember when I first got the Valentino products and I just could not get the hang of it. They were polymerizing so quickly for me. I was just like, what the hell is going on? And now look at me a few months later. Look, no issues, but it's a really gorgeous color, Bad and Bougie. It's a soft kind of salmony pink, but it's a little bit sheer, which we really loved for her. So just a nice clean application, making sure to maintain that shape of the tips. As you can see, it's more tapered square than it was Coffin because we did cut it down. And I focus when doing my acrylic application on maintaining the shape. So you're going to constantly see me patting the sidewalls and then using a drier brush to kind of pat the product back in towards itself, towards the center. As you see at the tip, I very rarely fold product over. I feel like I've gotten good at like using appropriately sized beads, but don't worry about you know, doing a certain amount of beads for application. You just want to make sure that you're building up the nail as best as you think fit for your clients. These are not super long, so I'm not going to make them super thick, but I'm just making sure to have enough coverage because this is a slightly sheer product, and structure because she needs, you know, safe nails. They can't be like paper thin. So just building up as necessary and doing my best to not flood the cuticle and sidewall areas. You can see that I do tilt the finger down occasionally. That's just to make sure that gravity is helping you out. It is your friend in this case. If you have the finger flat, like parallel to the table, 100% your product will run back towards the sidewalls and cuticle area, and you don't want that. That also helps to contribute to service breakdown. So that's why you might see me, sorry, my nose is running. You might see me tilting the finger downwards, and then just, you know, as necessary, just, you know, look nice application. I'm building up as necessary, but nothing really to talk about here. This is a super short one today, nice and simple. You can just rock out and watch me do this acrylic application. And just like that, done with the acrylic application. So if you know, you know, I like to go in with my e-file after acrylic application. I am using this to clean up the surface of the nail, making sure it's nice and smooth. I have my e-file at a medium to high speed. Use it at whatever works for you. I can't give you a speed because my e-file, I use the Coupa Me file. It doesn't have an LED display and there's no numbers around the dial, so it really is by feel. I'm using a non-safety medium carbide bit. I love a medium. It's just like Goldilocks, like it's just right? Like if it was a coarse, it would eat too much product. If it was a fine, it wouldn't eat enough product. So the medium just, you know, is the best of both worlds for me. And I really do enjoy a non-safety because as you can see, I like to get it nice and tight up in the cuticle and sidewall areas. Also, I like to put the bit at the bottom of the tip around the free edge. Sometimes, I don't fold my acrylic over, but sometimes I get little pieces of acrylic down there and I want it to look nice and clean. So sometimes you might see me putting the bit underneath the tip of the nail. That's just to make sure that I can clean up anything that might be sitting around there. But just be cautious if you're using a non-safety to not cut your client or nick them with the e-file, especially if it's like brand new. Sometimes they are so sharp when you first get them. They're like uber dangerous, but this one I've had for a while and I feel like it's right in that sweet spot. So just smoothing out the surface of the nail. Sometimes you might see me run my thumb down the length of the nail. That's me feeling to see if I can feel any lumps and bumps and valleys and dips or whatever. But yeah, same as always, cleaning side to side up the entire length of the nail and then using the tip of that bit to clean around the sidewall and cuticle area. Nothing crazy here. After e-filing, I like to go in with my hand file. This is an 80/80 grit from Pana that I got on Amazon. Love it. It's super stiff. I love that it's super stiff as well, because sometimes you have an a hand file that's a little bit flimsy and it wobbles while you're filing, so you're not getting the most sharp, clean shape. But when it's a stiff file, you can, file to your heart's content. As you can see, I'm doing the up and down motion on the free edge. This is honestly how I always get my super sharp and straight, filing nails situation. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, that's what I do. I like to clean my sidewalls. I push I push the client's skin away from the nail. Sometimes acrylic will be sitting on the sidewalls like that. I get the e-file, I keep saying e-file. I get the hand file up around those sides and then shape as necessary. And then when I'm happy, go up and down, making sure to really squeeze that nail down. I'm using my thumb and counter pressure with my pinky and ring finger on the underside of the nail. While doing this, you do not want the client's fingers to wobble. It's very, very uncomfortable, but it does, for me at least, give me a super, super sharp shape. So that's basically what's happening here. Just going in with this little buffing block just to smooth out the nails even more. At this point, we actually didn't know exactly what we wanted to do. She wanted to do like a French bling situation, like bling or like pixies in a French design on all of the nails. We weren't sure if we wanted to do like a pink French with polish or a white French. So I just figured buffing it would give me a good base, so that if we did go in with like a gel, we had something to adhere to a little bit more. And you're going to see me sometimes going underneath the free edge. That's just to soften that up so that the client doesn't like scratch their face or anything with the super sharp nails that we just hand filed as well. So I did have the client go wash her hands, but I like to do this anyway. I'm spraying her down with the same alcohol and just using a manicure brush to clean it up. And at this point, these nails are really pretty. It's a super soft, simple design, nice length, just great for her. But we decided to do something, just a little bit of sparkle to add a little bit of something. We didn't go with the French, but we are going to be adding some caviar beads and pixies. So first thing I decided to do was to top coat all of the nails. We are going in with Gloss It from Not Polish on all of the nails, just a nice thin application. If you are someone who has been experiencing like your shape is being warped after applying top coat, just make sure to clean your sidewalls. I always try to do a very, very thin coat of top coat so that it's not warping the shape, but occasionally I will go in and like swipe at the sidewalls and free edge with my finger. We just want to maintain that beautiful shape, but the thinner the coat, the better. You don't want to go in with like uber thick globby coats. Once happy with your application, have the client cure for 60 seconds, and then that's locked in. So we decided to add a full nail of caviar beads and pixies. I got these from Amazon, so they're not pure caviar beads. Caviar. They're not pure pixies. These are clear caviar beads that have pixies in them. I just figured this was a good option. She actually showed me a video on Instagram and was like, oh, I love this. And I'm like, all right, girl, let's go for it. So as you can see, I applied some bling gel. It is a non-wipe top coat bling gel. And I have just a napkin down below. And we are just sprinkling on these clear caviar beads. They do have pixies in them, mixed in there. So a few pixies will end up on the nail. But basically, you want to cover the entire nail. And because these are super, super short, you don't want it to look uber bulky. So after I'm done pouring the product, you're going to see me tap away. Then I'm going to actually take my finger and like press the product into the gel. So we're using a bling gel. It's not going to cure until you put it in the light. But as you can see, I'm pushing the product in. I keep saying product, the beads in toward the nail. You don't want it to be super, super wide. And then we lost footage, but I did add some cuticle bling to the rest of the nails. So hopefully you like it. It was a short one, just a nice, simple acrylic application. Like if you like, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.